Bearcats fans, this is Neil Meyer here of the Front Office News.
With J.T. Smith.
We are recapping the Bearcats' 30-24 loss to Arizona here at Nippert Stadium this afternoon. Obviously, it was a good start to the day for Cincinnati, despite the opening interception for Brendan Sorsby. They battled back, went up 14-0 at one point, but unfortunately, the offense stalled out. Outgained, 475 to 361, I believe, on the afternoon. 344. So overall, Arizona's offense turned it up a notch. Noah Fafita became the all-time passing leader, or passing touchdowns leader in Arizona history this afternoon. So overall, it's a heartbreaker for Cincinnati. Obviously, this was the game where you entered today. If you did that and you got the job done, this could have been an opportunity for Cincinnati to potentially host College Game Day next week. With BYU, there's still a lot of indications, but for Cincinnati, this was a game they needed, and they had a great showing on offense early. Defense, you had a lot of lulls this afternoon, if you ask me. Arizona went 8 for 16 on third down, which in these kind of games where it's a much needed win scenario, you can't allow teams to go 50% on third down. Meanwhile, Arizona, on the other hand, held Cincinnati to just 3 of 12 on third down. So a lot to take away with those two metrics there. But JT, I'll start off by saying I thought the special teams played their best game of the season. What were your thoughts on the afternoon?
No, for sure. Steven Rusnick made his field goal attempts. Logan Wilson blocked a field goal.
Came close to blocking two.
Yeah, almost blocked two. I thought, Max Fletcher punted his backside off today. He down to the inside, the 2-yard line, I want to say. Twice. He was on point. They made tackles. They were. You could definitely tell the Bearcats had a better special teams unit on both sides of the ball, but it wasn't meant to be, man. The other thing that, like you said, you pointed out that the 3 for 12 on third down was the thing that really burnt the Bearcats, because it stalled out their drives, man. They had they went on a lull where I think they had like 3 or 4 in a row, 3 and outs, and against this team, you can't have that. And just to catch that flow, man, it was a time where, Sorsby only had like 38 yards, and that was into the second half. It's hard to beat a team when you can't make the plays in the air, and that's kind of what happened. The Bearcats' run game was solid.
Especially early.
Yeah, especially early. But what happened is Arizona said, "Oh, you guys aren't making plays in the passing game. We're going to cut the water off on the ground." That's what they did. Made it a lot harder. They still had some successful plays, on the ground, but it wasn't the same. Wasn't popping the same. It was because the passing game didn't hold their end of the bargain, and that's kind of what burnt the Bearcats at the end. That, and then allowing those third downs, on defense, 8 of 16, that's 50%. I think they're 1 of 1 on fourth down as well. So they were over 50% on the money downs. And the Bearcats, they were 3 or 4 on fourth down, but still
3 for 12 on third
down. That's still probably like 42% on quick math, and that's not what you want. Maybe even less than that, honestly. But probably like 39% or something like that. That's on quick math, so don't grade me on that. But it's just one of those things, man. You come off a bye week. Arizona's not a bad team at all, but you're at home. You got a West Coast team playing at noon, on the East Coast. We're in the Midwest, but they're on East Coast time, and they didn't take advantage. It just was too sloppy. They lost the turnover battle. You can say, 2-1, and you count the attempt on, the blocked field goal.
Yeah.
I'll count that as a turnover because you stop points, but still.
Too early. The first one was,
should
have taken the check down. If he takes the check down there, it's not a turnover.
Yeah, he saved that.
First play of the game, you can't come out and give a freebie to the opposing team's defense, essentially.
And teams are playing these guys, man, and they're sitting in the house. The Bearcats have one of the best offensive lines in college, and they held up. But what's happening is, if they're not hitting the passes, man, teams are trusting their corners against these receivers. So that's something that has to be addressed, and they have to take this as a pride thing. It's more going to be a pride thing because the teams are showing what they're going to do. You gotta, man up and get to it. So, because they're not going to change. It's not going to be much zone unless it's like third and long, second and long. They're showing you what you're going to do. You got to win those one-on-ones. The only way to change it is to, to make the plays on those passing plays. So Bearcats don't do that, man. It's going to be interesting because BYU is no chump. TCU is no chump. Man. The Big 12 is a hell of a place to play. Be all good and all bad at the same time. So Bearcats are going to win another game this season. They got to figure that out. Sorky talked about that. Gavin Gerhardt talked about that. Satterfield talked about that. One-on-one is going to be key because, like you seen at the beginning of the year, that's what Nebraska did for them, right?
You can't win your one-on-one matchups. You're not gonna essentially move the ball on offense.
And they have to get the ball to Jordan Williams. That's the one. Like, I will harp on that. Like, he has to get something has to happen. I know they're double teaming him, but he can't have one target. He just can't. He's too good. He's your best receiver. He has to get targets, and I think that will allow the other receivers to have a better chance to win their one-on-ones as well, too. And in times they did win it, they didn't make the play. Sometimes they did, but it was I don't know who that to Jennings, the one where
the third down when Jennings dropped the ball.
You dropped the dime, got to catch it. Caldwell had a play, got to catch it. There's a few drops too that doesn't help, but then there was a couple bad reads as well. So it's like, all right, when you do get the right read, you do get the plays aren't being made. So, but then when somebody's winning, the ball's not maybe going to where it should go sometimes. So it's a group thing. It's an interesting place to be there. They lose control. They still have a chance, but they lose control. So I know I'm rambling a little bit. I know. Just make sure you check out the recap. I don't know if you want to add anything before we
we'll have videos of Dante Corleone, Brendan Swordsby, Coach Satterfield, and Gavin Gerhardt up on the YouTube and up on the website here as well, recapping what transpired this afternoon as well. So continue to check us out over at the Front Office News. I'm Neil Meyer.
I'm J.T. Smith.